Line with Kyle Henderson, who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hi, this is Jordan. I'm calling in from Georgia.
Jordan from Georgia, man. Go ahead. Take it away, buddy.
Yeah, living in Georgia, I work with obviously a bunch of Georgia fans, and my family's a bunch of Georgia fans. And just here lately, they've been asking me who I think our quarterback's going to be, and every time I tell them that Jalen Milroe is going to be our quarterback, they get talking about how scared they are of him. And I mean, they were scared of Bryce Young last year, but they weren't scared of us as a whole team just because they knew our defense gave up so many points to Tennessee and we lost to LSU, so they weren't really scared. But they're really scared of our defense this year. When I was talking to them about the physicality of our defense, they were talking about how they think we could come back this year and beat Georgia. They don't. A lot of these Georgia fans that I work with don't think that they're going to be that good this year. Another thing is I was on a Twitter Reddit, or a Reddit for Texas, and I was just reading some of their things about when we play them, and they would rather see Jalen Milroe, or they would rather see Ty Simpson than Jalen Milroe. I mean, everything I was seeing about them said that they were scared of his legs, and all they said is he can just throw pretty balls, just hit the receivers in stride, that they think he's a complete quarterback. And it's just been a while since these Georgia fans have been scared of Alabama, and it finally feels nice to be back up there. I mean, we won the national championship a couple of years ago with Mac Jones and Devontae Smith, so it's not like we just completely fallen off the face of the earth, but it's nice just for people to be talking about how, they're scared of Alabama football again. And just another thing is these Georgia fans, they really wanted Caleb Downs. And I know I'm talking a lot about Georgia, but it's just nice for them to want people that we have. Being in Georgia, I went and watched Caleb Downs a couple of times, and he's just the closest thing to Mika Fitzpatrick I think we've had in a while. I mean, I've seen that a lot, people comparing him to Mika, and he's young. I mean, he's going to mess up some, like that guy was saying. He'll get beat a couple of times, but I think overall he's going to be pretty good. And I was just wondering what you think about, our overall team and how physical you think our defense is going to be this year.
Well, I appreciate you calling in from Georgia, and it's good to get, the different perspectives. I love when fans call in from Louisiana now that LSU has beaten Alabama finally, and same thing from Tennessee. And, of course, Georgia and the run that they're on. And look, Kirby Smart has done a great job building up Georgia to what they are. We knew it was coming. I mean, and here it is. And like Coach Saban said during the summertime, it's Alabama's job to go take what another program has taken from Alabama the last couple of years. That's the national title. So, yeah, Georgia has every right to be where they're at, to talk how they're talking. I mean, they got the players, they're getting the recruits. What Kirby Smart is doing right now, his recruiting class, I think speaks volumes about, this train isn't going anywhere. It's not like, remember when Clemson was kind of hot? Like, we knew that wasn't going to last. Georgia's here. They have, they're in the SEC. They have the funds to continue to do this at a very high level, and they got the coach, most importantly. I think when you look to the defensive physicality, that's where it all starts. I think Brent from Gunnersville said that you need that kind of nastiness from the defensive side of the ball, and he brings up some good points. I mean, in the games against LSU and the game against Tennessee, I mean, look how many points were allowed, right? Like, that is not the standard that Alabama is accustomed to. And even Kevin Steele said, look, the game of college football has changed, but that doesn't mean that you're allowing offenses to score 35 points on you. Like, that cannot be the standard. So it's important that you have edge rushers to get after the quarterback. It's important that you have big physical corners in this day and age. And I don't think you have to be overly complicated on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, look, I get it. Golding knows a ton of defense, but like listening to him sometimes, it was too much to even comprehend when he was talking to his outside linebackers. These guys are so talented. It's like, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. I'm not saying they're not intelligent. It's just like, defense doesn't have to be super complicated. I think offense sometimes does, but defense doesn't. When you look to this team, this is the first time that I've ever covered Alabama where they've been laying in the weeds. And I've said this before, when I went to SEC Media Day, like, people weren't that excited to talk to Alabama. Usually it's in Birmingham, and I get it. It's not that far from Tuscaloosa. Like, it's a parade. But this was the first time that everything was about Georgia. And as I mentioned before, that's a train, and they're running. and it's Alabama's job to, go after it and, kind of take what's theirs. And there's teams that can now, they now feel that they can play with Alabama. When I first moved here, that wasn't the case. I would look at Wikipedia that kind of lists like the last time teams have beaten Alabama, and you have to go all the way back to like 2004 or 2001 or whatever. But, I think LSU feels that they can play with Alabama. They beat them last year. I think Tennessee feels that same way. Georgia, like you said, I think Georgia feels that, look, they're like, we own this. So it's good to see Alabama laying the weeds. Look, Alabama lost 2 games last year by 4 points. This team, they're hungry. They're dialed in. I asked Dallas Turner, I was like, is there more, kind of hunger in the locker room being that you guys lost 2 games? He's like, yeah, there is. So, look, this team knows that people doubt them, and I'm curious to see how they rise up. This is a critical year for Alabama's football program. And look, I said this on social media. I was like, they haven't won a national title in quite some time. Yeah, it's too long for Alabama fans, right? I've covered 4 national title games. When I went to the Citrus Bowl, it was like going to like a third world bowl game. And that's just, you cover Alabama, you cover national championships. So I'm excited about where this team is. I'm excited about the defense. I'm excited about Kevin Steele. We're all talking about the quarterback, but I think you got to have that defense come with it. What else you got, Jordan? Anything else before we move to our next caller?
Oh, yeah, just how you were talking about Pete Golden. I mean, I think in the Tennessee game, we were getting beat. And I think, like you said, he was trying to overcompensate and complicate things on the defensive side. And I think we were just, we had busted coverages. I mean, I don't think it was a problem with any of our guys. I mean, we were super talented last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at DeMarco Hellion's playing with the Falcons right now. I mean, he's balling right now in preseason. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, and he goes to Ole Miss, and, their spring game's like 51-52. I mean, that's just unacceptable. But thank you, Kyle, for all you do. We love you over here at Bama Nation, and Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide to you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. That was Jordan calling in from Georgia behind enemy lines. I appreciate it. Kyle Henderson at Bama Football on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. I come on Sunday nights, and then during the season, I got more stuff coming your way. Really want to continue to build a high level of content. I mean, I think it's easy for anybody just to turn on the computer and talk Alabama football, but you guys deserve quality audio. You guys deserve graphics, highlights, good commentary, the personality. I was once told that there's no talent that covers the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I really took that to offense because I do my absolute best to bring you guys high-level coverage. So that's what you get, whether it's audio, video, voiceovers, whatever. I'm putting my heart and soul to this channel, and I appreciate you guys 100%. We'll go to our next caller, and we're going to stop there. I know a 404 just called in, man, but I'm going to take my 205, and I'm going to dip out. So 205, we'll start right now, and we'll get to it. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? Uncle Charles, man. What's happening?
I appreciate it. Is it Uncle Charles, right? Calling in. I love the enthusiasm, Uncle Charles.
Man, let me tell you, sometimes I look in the mirror and I can't stand myself, but I have to keep on looking where I can. Let me tell you something, man. I'm not worried about it. See, we put too much emphasis into one thing. We worry about who's going to start at quarterback. What you need to worry about is the quarterback come out there with two arms, 2 legs, and a head on his body. Because if they don't, then we got a problem. I'm not worried about what anybody else says. We make mistakes last year. Any 2 times your mascot start catching the balls on your offense, then you ain't looking too good. We learn from our mistakes. Look what they did. They became biased against Alabama. I knew the stuff was in. I knew it was in from the beginning. Alabama should have at least been in the playoffs and got a shot at the national championship, but they didn't want us. And then they put TCU in there. And look what happened to them. Look at what happened to them. They got embarrassed. Everybody went to bed early to get ready to go to work the next day. They weren't even a memory. But you know what? You won't try that no more. Because you know, when somebody watching the national championship, you got to have yours. You can't make the same mistakes you've been making. Nick Saban is an expert at what he do. This is why he get paid all of the money, because he's a great coach. He went back and got Kevin Steele. That's what you should have on defense. Our thing is to make the offense and the defense quit. That's where our motto, to outlast you in a game. And when times get hard, we can play through those hard times. Let me explain something to you. It's all about what you do in training camp, in the fall camp, in the spring camp. Let me explain it. We learn from our mistakes. Now, just a couple years ago, I walked to the store because the doctor said I need to get some exercise. And next thing you know, I crossed the road, got hit by a car, knocked up there, rolled across the street, and woke up in a ditch. And I was at UAB hospital. 6 months to get myself back together again. 2 weeks later, I walked to that same store and got hit again. We learn from our mistakes. This is how it goes. And that's all we got to do. That's all we got to do is learn from our mistakes and take one game at a time. We don't need to worry about who at quarterback because Nick Saban know who to put out there. And man, I appreciate you.
That's Uncle Charles calling, and I appreciate it, Uncle Charles. Thank you so much, man, spitting the truth. Do you have anything else, Uncle Charles, or are we going to say goodnight right there? I think our Uncle Charles dipped out. All right. So, hey, fam, I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Let me sub out Uncle Charles because I'm not Uncle Charles. So I'm Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope I brought it, from an energy level. Look, we're getting closer to college football season. It's just a couple weeks away. You got Alabama versus Middle Tennessee. I know you want to focus on that game against Texas, but there's a game before that. And I think the quarterback, without a doubt, is going to be Jalen Milroe, leading that team out of, onto the field. And rightfully so. When you look to everything that he's done through this fall training camp, he's earned it. And we've talked about the quarterbacks plenty, and I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more quarterback talk, but Jalen Milroe certainly is going to be that guy. We'll continue to, track that as we get closer to week 1. Again, the depth chart will come out for that official game on Monday, right before Alabama's game against Middle Tennessee. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate all the comments and the feedbacks, of course, all the super chats tonight. And, we'll recut a couple of these calls and post them on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for tons more coverage this week right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube.